first date was definitely a hit. We
Yeah.
definitely hit it off right off the bat. I had been doing the internet dating for probably a couple years off and on. Like I would meet someone and date for a few months or even a year or two.
I sometimes went on like 3 dates a day. I just was sort of like, well, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna, it's a numbers game, and there's only 2 people I think that I met that I really liked, like genuinely, and I was only really attracted to Matt.
The proposal is kind of an interesting story, and we haven't really settled on the same story with the proposal even now. We had been dating, a little over about a year and a half. I had essentially decided that we were going to get married and decided that we weren't going to have a big wedding, that we wanted to do something really small with just a couple of people, my mom, her dad, maybe a few friends, and that was it. We weren't going to plan anything, we weren't going to spend a lot of money. And kind of next thing you know, the wedding is approaching rapidly, and I haven't actually proposed yet. And for a variety of reasons, we decided not to do an engagement ring. Kirsten didn't want 2 rings. I'm kind of opposed to diamonds. But I felt like it was important that the man offer an engagement gift. And since we weren't going to do a ring, I needed to know what she wanted that would be significant and would mean something and be special. And so we talked about it. And so what she wanted was this painting that's on the wall here. And because she had told me, I had said, what do you want? And she said, a piece of art. And I said, well, you are a woman of very kind of eclectic tastes. And, it's hard enough to buy a woman like clothing and jewelry, but a piece of art that they're going to like. And so she had said, we'll talk to my friend Scott. Scott's going to direct me to a very specific piece of art, which I will then buy. And he did direct me to a specific piece of art, but it was gone. In the meantime, she thought, because I had kind of made a fuss about, well, I can't just pick out a piece of art for you, that I wasn't going to buy this particular piece, not understanding that, no, I would buy a specific piece. I wouldn't just go out and buy a random piece. So thinking that I was not going to buy it for her and not wanting it to get away, she bought it for herself. So finally, we were about a week away from the wedding. Our parents were set to fly into town in a few days, and I told Kirsten that I was not going to marry her until we were engaged, so that we better figure something out. So she put on her thinking cap and was thinking, I don't know, maybe a bicycle, maybe not. And so I finally decided, all right, this is not going to work. She's never going to tell me what it is that she wants. I'm going to have to figure it out on my own. And I know that she loves this city, and she's into kind of rides and other things that I would think are kind of frightening. And so I came up with the idea of doing a dusk to nighttime helicopter tour over Los Angeles. And we drove up there, and so while we were sitting in the parking lot waiting for the helicopter and the pilot to show up and land, they were on another tour, Kirsten got a brief speech in the car in which I proposed, and then we got on the helicopter and went on this nighttime tour over Los Angeles.
I think that a big part of the institution is that it actually is the reason for gay marriage is because marriage gives you so many things, so many legal rights, so many financial benefits. We would have gotten married anyway, but one of the reasons that we got married on the timetable we did was for health insurance. Like it turned out I had a health incident and we found out that my health insurance was crazy bad, just crazy bad. And it was like, this is nuts. Like, if we get married, I'll have his health insurance, which is really good. And so that's one part of it, why actually get married by law as opposed to, saying like, I just pledge myself to you, just like done, you know what I mean? Because I felt like that's what we'd already done. Like I'd already made a decision, like this is the guy I'm gonna be with, this is the guy that, and then the marriage was something else, but at the same time, and you can interrupt me at any time, but at the same time, there is this thing that happens when you get married that's really different. There's very few things that you can do in your life when you can call something into being just with words. You know, there's huge life things that happen to you, deaths or births or moves or career changes or, you know, meeting somebody or big things, but they are things that happen, and some of them are biological and some of them are kind of just circumstantial, but as far as I know, really, marriage and probably divorce are the two things that you can do in which you can decide to call something into being, you know, to say, with these words, we are going from being individuals to being a married unit, like two people who are still individuals, but now there's this other thing that exists.
I think it's just ultimately a much more serious thing, and as a much, not just symbolically, but also legally and in various other ways. So I went from someone being totally opposed to marriage to thinking, oh no, it wouldn't be enough to not be married.